Welcome to Hollywood Bulletin. Today we revisit the bittersweet and jaw-dropping life of Ricky Nelson, a teen idol, television trailblazer, and rock and roll pioneer whose story ends not just in tragedy but in lawsuits, long-lost children, and a stunning legal twist that turned his kids into millionaires decades after his death. Ricky was born into Hollywood royalty in 1940. His father, Ozzie Nelson, was a bandleader and his mother, Harriet Hilliard, a movie star. From infancy, Ricky lived life on stage. His family's radio show, The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, made him America's sweetheart before he was even 10. Raised not in a neighborhood but on sound stages and studio lots, Ricky's childhood was more business than playtime, shaped by scripts, rehearsals, and tight parental control. As a boy, he battled asthma and loneliness, forming a quiet charm that would define his screen presence. When Ricky and his brother David joined the show as themselves in 1949, it became the first true reality family franchise decades before that was even a thing. By 17, he'd performed I'm Walkin' on national television and set off mass teenage hysteria. His early singles like Bebop Baby shattered records with hundreds of thousands of pre-orders, and Ricky quickly transformed from sweet TV kid to America's rock and roll heartthrob. But behind the screaming girls and million-dollar hits was a kid under strict control, especially from his father, who kept Ricky on a tight allowance despite his massive earnings. As Ricky's fame exploded, so did his personal complications. Relationships with co-stars like Mary Ann Gaba turned romantic, but he broke hearts faster than records. His father disapproved of any serious girlfriends, fearing love would derail Ricky's focus. Ricky rebelled, quietly sneaking into parties, holding secret relationships, and gradually separating from the innocent image his parents projected. By 18, his debut album Ricky hit #1, making him the youngest to do so at the time. Hits like Poor Little Fool, the first song to ever top Billboard's Hot 100, cemented his place in music history, and between 1957 and 1962, he scored more top 40 hits than anyone but Elvis. He starred in Rio Bravo with John Wayne, earned a Golden Globe nod, and lived lavishly. VIP clubs, custom suits, and $5,000 monthly allowances in today's money. He built a band of young musicians, demanding creative control and respect, and even hired future legends like James Burton. But by the mid-1960s, a tidal wave named the Beatles crashed through American music, and Ricky's sound felt outdated. Still, he wasn't done reinventing himself. He dropped the Y from Ricky, tried a country rock blend with the Stone Canyon Band, and returned with a vengeance in 1972's Garden Party, written after he was booed at Madison Square Garden. The song reached #6 and declared, "You can't please everyone, so you got to please yourself," a personal, prophetic anthem. But Ricky's personal life was crumbling. His marriage to Kristen Harmon, daughter of football legend Tom Harmon and sister of actor Mark Harmon, was a public fairy tale that quickly turned into a tabloid nightmare. Forced to marry after a pregnancy, Rick had to convert to Catholicism, attend classes, and pledge to raise his kids in the church under pressure, not choice. They spent wildly on homes, vacations, and clothes, but Rick's career couldn't keep up. The marriage collapsed into accusations of drug abuse, alcoholism, and parental neglect. In 1977, Kristen locked Rick out of the house and moved his belongings, with the help of two Rams cheerleaders, a humiliation he never recovered from. Their 5-year divorce battle drained over $1 million in legal fees. Even after the split, Rick was crushed by $4,000 monthly child support, touring nonstop just to keep the lights on. By the 1980s, he was financially drowning, emotionally exhausted, and desperate for a comeback. In 1985, he bought a vintage DC-3 plane for privacy and flexibility, despite its well-known mechanical issues. It had once belonged to Jerry Lee Lewis, but now it was a flying death trap. Rick ignored multiple warnings from bandmates and family. On December 31, 1985, that plane crashed in Texas, killing Rick, his fiancée Helen Blair, and 5 crew members. The pilots survived by escaping through cockpit windows. Rick was only 45. What followed was even more shocking. People believed he died broke. His ex-wife claimed there was no will and tried to take over the estate. But his brother David produced a will dated just 4 months before the crash, listing only his 4 kids as heirs. That was just the beginning. Another son, Eric Jude, born from a brief affair in 1980, was legally Rick's, but excluded from the will. His mother fought for a share, but courts upheld the will. Meanwhile, Helen Blair's parents filed a wrongful death lawsuit, and creditors lined up with claims. The real surprise came years later. While Rick had little cash at death, his music catalog was a hidden gold mine. In 2011, the Nelson estate sued Capitol Records for up to $250 million, accusing them of fraud and hiding royalties through shady practices like applying breakage fees meant for vinyl to digital sales. In 2014, the case settled for an undisclosed sum. Then came Sony. In 2020, the estate sued again, accusing Sony of reducing payouts by charging its own divisions intercompany fees. The result? A jaw-dropping $12.7 million settlement and a 36% increase in future streaming royalties. In the end, Ricky Nelson's children, once thought to inherit only debt, became millionaires not because of what he earned while alive, but because of what record companies tried to hide after his death. His story is a haunting mix of fame, control, rebellion, loss, and redemption, a legacy shaped by television, broken by tragedy, and saved by justice. Thanks for watching Hollywood Bulletin. If this story surprised you, let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you never miss more incredible true stories from the golden days of Hollywood.